2 weeks ago, I planted this fig tree in the ground 2 weeks ago. This is my English brown turkey. It's a young plant. It has some figlets on it. My soil mixture was potting mix, cow manure, and blood meal. That was what I mixed for the soil, so that the blood meal, the cow manure will help it to grow faster. It's a young plant and is bringing out fruit. And then also I mixed bone meal with the soil mixture. The bone meal is to help with the fruit. So I added blood meal and I added bone meal into the soil mixture, so that the blood meal will help it to grow quicker, and then the bone meal will help with the fruit because it's a young plant. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to give it soluble fertilizer, and I'm going to show you how I mix my soluble fertilizer for my young in-ground fig tree. Okay, these excuse me, these are my soluble fertilizer. Now let me show you this here. This is an well, you can use it for tomatoes, you can use it for your fig. It says feeds instantly and feed every 7 to 10 weeks. But I prefer to feed every 7 days, every week, because it is a young tree, so I want it to grow quicker. So I feed it every week with this. Now look at the NPK is 18 21. 18 for nitrogen, 18 for phosphorus, 21 for potassium. Now why I'm using this number is because the young fig plant, I want it to grow quick, and that's why I'm giving it 18% of nitrogen because I want it to grow quick. At the same time, it has fruit on it, so 18 for phosphorus. So this is balance, the growth and the fruit. So this will help the young plant to keep growing, and this will help the young plant to keep producing figs. And 21 is for the root and the health of the tree, so it's more, so that will help it. And also, this is the best NPK soluble fertilizer you can use for your fig trees in containers. You know, some of the fig trees varieties produce Briba, and while some do not produce Briba. So you can feed your fig trees in container that have Bribas, and the fig trees that don't have Briba, you can feed them both with 18-18, because 18 for nitrogen will feed your fig trees in container without figs, so they will be growing more trees and branches, while your fig trees that have Briba and don't have main crop will still be growing. So this 18 will be feeding the growing part of your fig tree container, while 18 will be feeding your breeder. It will be feeding your breeder. So I have my water can here, and I have 1 gallon. This is 2 gallon, but I have 1 gallon water in here. So this is how I feed my young tree in the ground. Now I take this. Now 1 tablespoon to 1 gallon of water. 1 tablespoon. So 1 tablespoon. Then I also give it fish fertilizer. The nitrogen is 5, the phosphorus is 1, and the potassium is 1. And you will ask me, why are you giving it fish fertilizer? I know it has more percentage of nitrogen, but I want the young plant to grow quick. You see, the mistake some people do is when they plant young fig tree in the ground, they don't take care of it. They don't give it manure or soluble fertilizer to help it to grow. They just put it in the ground and just leave it. But if you want to get fruit quick, then you need to feed it with soluble fertilizer to help it to grow quicker, because soluble fertilizer is fertilizer that they take in instantly, immediately. You give it to them. And then you can also give them chicken manure, cow manure, or slow release fertilizer to help them to grow quicker. Why will you plant a young fig tree in the ground and the next 1 year it didn't grow much? But if you give it soluble fertilizer and slow release fertilizer or manure, it will help it to grow faster. So that's why I'm giving it fish fertilizer. And fish fertilizer has other micronutrients, not just nitrogen. It has other macronutrients that will help your young plant. And so now you have to shake it very well. And then what I do is I give 2 tablespoons to 1 gallon. 2 tablespoons to 1 gallon. And I will tell you the reason why I'm giving it 2 tablespoons to 1 gallon. Now, if you look at the instruction, it says 3 because it is in the ground. It says give it 4 tablespoons. For your in-ground trees, it is 4 tablespoons. But I'm giving it 2 because I've added this to the feed. So I'm adding this and fish fertilizer and fish emulsion into this water to feed the young tree. Okay, now we're back with the fish fertilizer and the other soluble fertilizer. So all you have to do is shake it, mix it together, and then give it, let it soak. So I want it to soak a little bit. So when I pour more, it will go through the soil faster and easy. So you have to take care of your young plant. Look at that. It's getting loaded with figs. So the more this plant grows, the more figs that will be on this plant. So you can see why I added fish fertilizer to help it to grow faster, to grow more branches. I want all these to grow taller, because as they grow taller, they'll be producing figs. As they grow taller, they'll be producing figs. So the fish fertilizer will help it. Because if you add the 5% fish fertilizer to the 18% nitrogen in the other soluble fertilizer, that gives you 23% of nitrogen in this mixture, in this fertilizer. So that will help it to grow faster. So I'm giving it, so this is 1 gallon. 1 gallon of soluble fertilizer mixture. And the reason why I'm giving it 1 gallon of it is for it to soak and to go deep down, so that the roots will absorb in this soluble fertilizer, and it will help it to grow faster, to grow quicker.